Moving on to the next one. We're on the 6th now. So this is the crazy one for the Dorian, because you would think it would be an 8-note away flattened minor 6. But no, they're keeping the 9-note away major 6. So this is the interval that is different from the normal minor mode, the main minor mode, and an Aeolian minor mode, which does have what you would expect, an 8-note away minor 6. So this 6 represents the 6th position in the scale. This 9 represents the distance in terms of half steps or notes, noting that we're on an even number. And when we do chord constructions, we don't let even numbers into the club. They have to change their name if they want to be in the chord club. So it goes 1, 3, 5, and then 7. That's the last note. But then we go to the 2. It's really a 2, but we call it a 9. And then you've got the 4, but we renamed them to an 11. And then you've got the 6, but we're going to call it good old lucky number 13. So we're going to be on the 9-note away major 6, which could also be called a 9-note away major 13 from a chord construction standpoint. Why? Just to confuse you, okay? Just to confuse you. Anyway, let's move on. We're gonna say, actually, the reason is possibly because you would be on a different octave if you did it on a piano. Not just to point that out, so I don't want to be too. I just want to point that out. Oh yeah. So that's a 9. So if I go forward, we'd have to go 9 forward, but that's too far. It's because I want to go the minimal distance so I can actually reach it with my finger, so I can look at the inverse distance, which is 12 minus 9 or 3. So we can go back 3. So note that the 9-note, a major always has an inverse of a minor. So the inverse of a 9-note away major 6 is 12 minus 9, which is 3, which is a minor third distance. So if I was right here, if I was on this B, if I measured from the B to the D, 3-note away minor third, inverse therefore is a 9-note away, D to B, 9-note away major 6. Not thinking about octaves, just thinking about the tones. All right, let's go up then. We're gonna say let's go up 1, and we're gonna be over here. So remember, we're looking for the inverse distance when we go above it, and the inverse distance is the shape of a minor third, which you might be able to start to recognize looking down this way, right? If I count it out, we're gonna say this is gonna be, I'm looking for a 9-note away major 6 or a 9-note away major 13. The distance is gonna be 12 minus 9, inverse distance of 3. So if I count it up, it's be -5, 4, 3, right? So if I do that this way, it's gonna be -5, -5, 4, 3. So if I went from B to D, that would be a 3-note away minor third. Therefore, the inverse from D to B, bottom to top, is going to be a 9-note away major 6. Okay, so then that means that if I go up 1 string, the 9-note away major 6 will be 2 frets forward unless I cross the fault line, which only happens on the B string. So if I went up 1 string, it would be right there. So it's going to be closer together because this tectonic plate shifted to the right, moving what we're calling the root to the right. So that means that if I go up, the rule is if I go up 1 string, the 9-note away major 6, which you could also call the 9-note away major 13, is 2 frets forward unless you cross the fault line, which would only happen on the B string, in which case if I go up 1 string and cross the fault line, the 9-note away major 6, which you could also call the 9-note away major 13, is 1 fret forward. Let's go up 2 strings. 2 strings. We'll go back here. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back. All right, we're looking for the 9-note away major 6 or 9-note away major 13 inverse distance because we're going above it. 12 minus 9 is a distance of 3, so -5, -10, and then 10, -11, 12, or octave. So I can bring that back down to 0, -1, 2, 3. Boom. Let's do it from here. -5, -10. And then -11, -12, or 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's way out there, almost reachable because it's 5 frets, but because we're in the the larger fret side of the guitar, it's a little difficult. B to D, therefore, would be a 3-note away minor third. D to B would be a 9-note away major 6. So that means that if I go up 2 strings, the 9-note away major 6 is going to be 5 frets back unless I cross the fault line, which would happen on the bottom 2 strings, the B or the E. Let's take a look at this one. If I went up 2 strings, we'd be back here, which would actually be a further distance because, once again, what I'm thinking about as the root got pushed to the right. So now it's basically out of reach. This is where the maximum distance in frets is, basically unreachable by normal hands. So the general idea would be, if I go up 2 strings, the 9-note away major 6, which could also be called the 9-note away major 13, is going to be 5 frets back unless I cross the fault line, which happens on the bottom 2 strings, the B and the E string, in which case, if I go up 2 strings and cross the fault line, the 9-note away major 6, which could also be called the 9-note away major 13, is going to be 6 frets back, which means it's right in the middle and also 6 frets forward. So in that case, possibly, you might be able to reach it going forward, right? Because the frets are smaller on this part of the guitar. So even though you're going 6 frets up. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Next one. Where was I? I was here. Let's go to this one. So we're going to go up 3 strings. So if I go up 3 strings, looking for the 9-note away major 6, which could also be called the 9-note away major 13, we have to look for the inverse distance, which is 12 minus 9, or 3. We've got -5, -10, -15. 15 minus 12, because there's only 12 notes in the musical alphabet, is 3. So there it is right there. So I'm going to count it up this way. 5, 10, 15. 15 minus 12 is 3. Top to bottom, B to D, therefore would be a 3-note away minor third. Bottom to top, therefore would be a 9-note away major 6. So if I go up 3 strings, the 9-note away major 6, which could also be called the 9-note away major 13, is on the same fret unless I cross the fault line, which would happen on the bottom 2 strings, the E, the B, and the bottom E string, in which case, if I was like right here, for example, we'd be going up to there. So if I go up 3 strings, the 9-note away major 6 or 9-note away major 13 is on the same fret unless I cross the fault line, which happens on the B or the E string, in which case, if I go up 3 strings and cross the fault line, the 9-note away major 6 or 9-note away major 13 is 1 fret back, baby. Back, baby. Okay, so then we're going to go down 1, and let's go up to here. So if I go down 1 string and cross the fault line, this is the only time we'd cross the fault line, so that means I don't have to go to the inverse distance, but now looking for 9 notes away, the actual distance, because I'm going below it, but I have to go diagonal because of the fault line, so it's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Counting it out here, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, going to that B, baby. I gotta stop saying baby. I'm gonna stop that. People are gonna get mad at me because it's too repetitive, number 1, and it's patriarchal. I don't know why. I'm not. I don't know, but it sounds good because it's the B's in there. You know, I feel like. But anyways, if I go down 1 string and cross the fault line, the 9-note away major 6, which could also be called the 9-note away major 13, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets forward. But this is the only time I'd cross the fault line. If I didn't cross the fault line, it would be easier reach because this bottom bit got shifted forward. The destination note got shifted forward, because if I was up here, or if I was like here, for example, or let's do it here, you know, like for example, then the distance wouldn't be as far. It would be like, we'd go down, so the rule is if I go down 1 string, the 9-note away major 6, which could also be called the 9-note away major 13, would be 1, 2, 3, 4 frets forward unless I cross the fault line, which would only happen on the G string, in which case if I go down 1 string and cross the fault line, the 9-note away major 6, which could also be called the 9-note away major 13, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets forward. Forward, 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 forward. Effer. Okay, let's go down That's not, you can't say that on the, but it sounds good though. It has the F forwards with the Fs. Let's go down 2 strings. So if we go down 2 strings and we're looking for the 9 note away major 6 or 9 note away major 13, crossing the fault line, 5, 10, back to 9. So down 2 strings and cross the fault line, 5, 10, what did it say? Yeah, 5, 10, back to 9. 9 note away major 6, 9 note away major 13. So that means if I go down 2 strings and cross the fault line, the 9 note away major 6 or 9 note away major 13 is on the same fret, but I wouldn't cross the fault line if I was on either the E or the B string, because if I was on this E string and I went down 2 strings, it would look like that. So the rule is if I go down 2 strings, the 9 note away major 6 or 9 note away major 13 is 1 fret back, baby, unless you cross the fault line, in which case, if you go down 2 strings and cross the fault line, the 9 note away major 6, which could also be called the 9 note away major 13, is on the same fret. Same fret. All right.